A very warm welcome to all the students. In this session, we will begin our discussion on surface chemistry. That brings us to the question that what exactly is surface chemistry and what does it deal with? Surface chemistry is the study of chemical phenomena that takes place at the interface of two phases. One of the phases is essentially solid. So in other words, we can say that it deals with the chemical phenomena taking place on the surface of a solid. Surface chemistry majorly deals with adsorption and colloidal chemistry. We will discuss these two phenomena one by one. So first of all, let's take adsorption. The attraction and retention of the molecules of a substance by a solid on its surface, which then results into the higher concentration of those molecules on the surface of the solid, is known as adsorption. For example, if we have a colored solution of a dye and we stir finely divided activated charcoal or clay in that solution, the intensity of the color of the solution decreases because the molecules of the dye are adsorbed on the charcoal or clay. Thus their concentration decreases in the solution, diluting the color as a result. So the substance that is adsorbed, that is the dye molecules, are the adsorbate, and the substance which adsorbs, for example, the activated charcoal or clay, is known as the adsorbent. The reverse process of adsorption is desorption. It is the process of releasing an adsorbed substance from a surface on which it is absorbed. For example, if the clay releases back the dye molecules in the solution, we'll call that process desorption. In certain cases, both adsorption and absorption take place simultaneously. So the phenomenon, or we can say that adsorption and absorption collectively are known as sorption. The substance is said to be sorbed. Now this brings us to the question is that what exactly is the difference between adsorption and absorption? Adsorption takes place on the surface of a substance, whereas absorption takes place throughout the bulk of a substance. For example, if we use sponge to wipe water, the sponge will absorb the water in it. Also, in adsorption, unequal distribution of one substance on another substance takes place because the concentration of the substance will be higher on the surface. Whereas in absorption, this process occurs at a uniform rate throughout the body of the substance. By body, we mean the surface as well as the inner bulk of the substance. Adsorption can be basically categorized into two types depending on the forces that act between the adsorbate and the adsorbent molecules. The first type is the physical adsorption, which is also known as physisorption. In this type of adsorption, the adsorbate is held on the surface of the adsorbent by means of weak van der Waals forces. Since the forces are weak, this type of adsorption can be reversed by heating or decreasing the pressure. The second type of adsorption is the chemical adsorption, which is also known as chemisorption. The forces which are holding the adsorbate on the surface of the adsorbent are of the magnitude of chemical bond forces. Now, since chemical bond forces are acting in this type of adsorption, which are pretty strong, this type of adsorption is irreversible and cannot be reversed by changing the temperature or pressure. Let's see what all are the differences between physisorption and chemisorption. As we just discussed, physisorption takes place by means of intermolecular van der Waals forces which are weak in nature, whereas in chemisorption, chemical bond formation is involved and the forces acting are much more stronger. Physisorption depends on the nature of adsorbate. For example, the easily liquefiable gases are more readily adsorbed, whereas chemisorption is much more specific and it depends on the nature of adsorbate as well as the adsorbent. The heat of adsorption is small in physisorption but very large in chemisorption. In physisorption, multimolecular layer on adsorbent surface of the adsorbate molecules is formed or can be formed, whereas in chemisorption, unimolecular layer on adsorbent surface is formed. Physisorption generally increases with increase in pressure. High pressure is also favorable for chemisorption, but it doesn't mean that on decreasing the pressure, desorption will take place. Physisorption is reversible, whereas chemisorption is irreversible. Physisorption generally occurs at low temperature. It decreases with increase in temperature, whereas chemisorption increases with increase in temperature. Now let us see what are the various factors that affect adsorption. The extent to which a gas will be adsorbed on the solid depends upon the nature of the adsorbate, that is the gas, the nature of the adsorbent, that is the solid, temperature. Adsorption is generally accompanied with release of heat, that is, it is an exothermic process. So the decrease in temperature will increase adsorption, or the increase in temperature will decrease adsorption. Similarly, pressure. Adsorption increases with increase in pressure, whether it is physisorption or chemisorption. If a gas is adsorbed in a solid, then we express the extent of adsorption as x by m, where x is the number of moles of the gas at equilibrium, that is the adsorbate, and m is the mass of the solid, that is the adsorbent. So a relation or a graph plotted between the magnitude of adsorption, that is x by m, and the pressure P of the gas, that is the adsorbate, at a constant temperature is known as adsorption isotherm. There are two well-established adsorption isotherms named after the scientist who proposed them. The first one is the Freundlich isotherm, and the second is the Langmuir isotherm. We'll discuss these two isotherms one by one. Two scientists, one was of course Freundlich, and the second one was Castor, in 1894 gave the first mathematical fit for an adsorption isotherm. It was a purely empirical formula which was meant for the gaseous adsorbates. So according to Freundlich adsorption isotherm, at constant temperature, the adsorption of a gas on a solid surface increases with increase in pressure. Mathematically, we can represent it as x divided by m is equal to kp raised to 1 by n. X by m is the magnitude of adsorption, in which x is the quantity of the gas or the adsorbate adsorbed. M is the mass of the adsorbent, that is solid. P is the pressure of adsorbate, and K and N are empirical constants for each adsorbate-adsorbent pair at a given temperature. Now the quantity 1 by n is generally less than 1. Therefore, the amount of gas adsorbed does not increase as rapidly as we increase the pressure. So if we are increasing the pressure, we must not expect the amount of gas adsorbed to increase linearly with it. This will become much more clear when we look at the graph of Freundlich adsorption isotherm.